thanks all for joining us here. We're here to talk about how Decathlon combined automation and personalization in their customer engagement strategy to grow and to multiply their MAUs ×2 within only 6 months. We're here, Jéssica and myself. Maybe you can quickly introduce yourself.
Sure. Thank you so much for everyone for coming to this talk. So I'm Jéssica. I work at Decathlon for the last 8 years. Oh my God, time flies. I've been working in 2 different countries. One of them, you might guess it because of my accent, and the other one is the UK. So I'm in charge of the mobile app in Decathlon UK. And I don't know if you want to know anything else or we talk about Decathlon.
We'll talk about Decathlon in just a bit.
Yes.
I'm Sophie, I'm with the badge team. There's 4 of us here today. If you see somebody with a badge sweater and you want to learn more about what we do, feel free to just catch us around the area. But yeah, maybe even though Decathlon is a household name, I think everybody has been at least once to buy, I don't know, running shoes or a yoga mat or a horse riding helmet. Maybe you can still tell us a bit more about Decathlon itself, where you stand today.
Sure, so I just was about to say, hopefully you all know Decathlon, your customers, and even better if you are engaged with Decathlon, that will be amazing. But I'm just going to quickly introduce you a bit more about the company. So Decathlon is the largest international sport retailer. We are present in more than 60 countries all around the world. And that means that we count on 140 million customers, which is amazing. We are present online, but also offline. We count on more than 1,700 physical stores around the world. And it's true that in the last years, especially due to COVID and the pandemic, we had to face an acceleration towards, digital approach. So yeah, that's all.
And I think the digital approach is very much what we're going to talk about today. Briefly about Batch, we're a Paris-based 360-degree customer engagement platform that allows you to communicate with your users via email, web push, app push, all linked in-app messages, landing pages, etc., and SMS. We've been around for about 10 years. We're based in Paris, France. We're a 100% European company with our bare metal servers also located in France, making us 100% GDPR compliant, and you have full data sovereignty on your data. We're a team of about 100, working with nearly 400 clients around the world. If you're based in Germany, if you were here last year, we were here with the BVG, the Berlin Public Transport, who were batch clients for many years. But we also work in Germany with companies that you might know, such as Lidl, DM, or Rewe, when you go shopping. And also media clients, so all different verticals that we work with, depending on where you consume your news. You might know Tagesspiegel, Welt, or others. The product itself is built around 3 pillars. You can centralize your data and build unified user profiles. So you have all the data and variables, events, and attributes linked to your users that you can then use to segment, personalize, orchestrate, and automate all the different messages that you want to get out to your user via the different channels, as I said, email, web push messages, app push messages, landing pages, in-app messages, etc., and SMS. And that's a brief intro. Again, as I said, if you want to learn more about Badge, there's Eleanor and Marjolaine at the back of the room. Guillaume is around somewhere. If you have any questions, feel free to walk up to us and we'll be happy to chat more. But that's what we're here to talk about, is with Decathlon and how, again, we talked about automation and personalization to grow your MAU base. So maybe you can tell us more about the past challenges before we dig deeper.
I don't know where to start from. So in terms of challenges, you might even relate to most of them. If I just need to say general words, which has been the main challenge in the last years, especially for us, has been adapting the business to a constant changing environment. So we have seen how over the years our customer needs, but also the customer behavior purchase has evolved and has changed to stay. So when it comes to Decathlon, we had an increasing on the digital transformation, as well as we had to be efficient, reducing cost. That means that we had to integrate new technologies into the business as well. When we think about the customers, we've seen how the increase increasing on the awareness for sustainability is something that it matters more than ever when it comes to purchasing as well. So they really care about the companies that they share the same values when it comes to sustainability, protecting and preserving the planet. This is something that has been always part of our DNA, because at Decathlon, at the end, we sell sport products, but we sell the transformation of the lifestyle of our customers. So when it comes to practicing sport, yes, it happens indoors, but it also outdoors. So if you think about that, the planet is our playground, and this is something that we always had in mind. But due to the pandemic and the last years, how the customers' needs and behaviors have evolved, we had to accelerate in this business as well. We also have seen how the impact of the inflation has impact the customer behavior. They double think twice when they need to purchase something. So this is also something that impacts the business in terms of keep being competitive and meaningful for the customers. That this is also the main challenge, if that makes sense. We face the challenge not only on the way the customers purchase products, but also how they consume content and they get engaged with the brands. So the boom of TikTok has impacted the customer behavior as well. At Decathlon, we were not ready and present for this new generation, but we are aware that they are the current customers and the future as well. And all of this has led on, the increase of mobile audience, how the customers used mobile more than ever, and we also have to adapt the business towards this channel. And the latest one that has impacted Decathlon as well, we've seen how over the last years, fashion retailers have integrated the sportwear as part of the product range. So now we have, the challenge of, technicity, which is the main promise of Decathlon, go hand in hand with fashion. And this has been a challenge as well when it comes to, adapting our product range to our customers. So in order to maintain growth in a long term, and what I said before, which for us was the most important thing, how we can keep being competitive in the market, and what it matters the most, how we can keep being meaningful for our current customers. Because the main challenge and what we really need to be focused, and we've been focused in the last years, is our customers' needs are changing so fast, and we need to adapt the business so fast and being really, really agile. So Decathlon joined the circular economy. That means that now we don't only sell products, we also rent them to make them more affordable, as well as we've got second-hand products as well. We lately launched the last service, which is called Buy Back. And what is this service about? It's about we allow the customer to bring back their bike to Decathlon because they don't use it anymore, especially if you think about kids' bikes that they keep growing and we need to, buy more bikes for them to make it affordable. So we give them a gift card in exchange of that bike, and what we do is reselling the bike. So if we think about that, it's amazing because as a business, we keep selling, so we keep making business, but what we ensure is that we manufacture less as well. But not only that, in order to answer new needs in terms of sport practices, we integrated the marketplace. That means that now we can cover other sport practices with new products from our partners in a very fast way. Of course, we are present in TikTok, so we are aware of this new generation, how we need to engage with them. We had to learn how to speak to them. They don't speak the same language, they don't care about the same things, so we really need to adapt ourselves as well. TikTok and the boom of TikTok, how the customers consume this content and they get engaged with the brand, had a direct impact on the mobile usage. So we've seen in general how the installs, especially of retail apps, have increased over time, but what is more important is the revenue. So if we have a look at these numbers, the revenue coming from the apps in 2022 compared to 2 years before increased by 91%. This is crazy because it means that our users not only use the phones, but they also convert on their mobile devices. So being aware of all of this, we launched the mobile app as well that I will explain you more about in this product over the presentation. But yeah, it's been challenging, but at the same time quite exciting.
And it's interesting challenges, and I think you had some original plans for the app, why you built it, etc. But I think it's also interesting that you had a lot of learnings, and maybe you could compare, or what we will do now is compare how you had an evolution of the app and actually made it what it is today, based on the learnings and the results that you had. So compare the original plans of the app with what it is actually today and where it will go in the future.
So definitely, we just focused on the app is a really good example to understand how we have evolved, all the time by answering our customers' needs. So the first concept of the app was launched in 2017 in France. I forgot to say that Decathlon is a French company, just for you to know, but we are all over the world. But it's true that it was in 2017 when we launched the first mobile app. This mobile app was mostly linked to optimize the experience in the physical stores. Okay, so all the features, all the functionalities that we had on the app, they were focused only on enhancing the experience in the physical stores. But the reality is that our users are not physical, neither online. They are omnichannel. And they want to have the power when it comes to choosing the channel they want to get engaged with you or interact with your brand. That's why 2 years later, in France, we convert this mobile app into the mobile shopping app. Naturally and organically, it has been expanded in different countries, and nowadays the mobile app is a global mobile shopping solution that is present in 24 countries. So as you can see, the product has evolved, but according to our customers' needs and behavior and the market as well. Something that we learned about the app is that it became the bridge when it comes to offline and online. So yeah, that's the evolution of the mobile app. Learnings in terms of the impact when we have a look at the performance. It's funny because I asked Sophie yesterday, what do you think about the Decathlon app? And do you have the Decathlon app? And what did you say?
I said, no, I don't.
Okay, painful.
That was painful. I go to Decathlon a lot. The inconvenience, if I had the app, I'd spend way too much money, and that's not necessarily in my pocket's interest.
So that's the impact. When we have a look at the app users, we've seen how they spend more money, 2.4 times more than the web users. But not only that, we also seen how it brings an uplift in terms of revenue, because more than 30% of the users, they are purchasing for the first time through the app. But the key learning has not been only this. So it's true that the app has helped us to accelerate the business and bring in additional revenue. But the interesting thing that we have learned since we launched the app is that our users are more active, they are more engaged, and the retention is higher. So if we have a look at the purchase frequency of app users compared to web users or the stores, is much, much higher. But this is not only the most interesting part, the fact of the retention rate. So how the app users are more likely to keep interact and active with Decathlon through the app. So having into consideration all of this, but also the fact that our customers don't purchase every day. So when they purchase at Decathlon, let's say that it's more based on the season. You go on holidays, okay, let's have a look, what we need. Now it's snowing in Berlin, okay, I need base layers. So it's really, seasonal purchase, but it's not something that they need on a daily basis. That's why we realized that if we need to set up strategies based on a long-term growth, we need to, set up the engagement and the retention strategies that they are going to allow us to ensure that the customers are going to be with us for longer. Because at the end, what it matters the most when it comes to ensuring the growth in your business is to ensure that your brand is in their mind. As soon as you are on top of their mind, whenever they need you, you are going to be one of their purchase options. And this is what it matters. We cannot be focused on sales spikes, over time, and to consider this growth in your company. We need to ensure, even if it's not that visible if we are just focused on the North Star KPIs, which are more linked to revenue and so on. But we really need to trust on those strategies that they are setting up the brand in the mind of their customers.
Yeah, so you talked about engagement and your North Star KPIs and engagement, making sure that you keep the customer on the app and increasing your CLV. But how does Batch fit into that? And why did you choose Batch? What is it that you appreciate with what you do today? And how do you fit that into your customer engagement strategy overall? I think that's the key partnership use cases.
Yes. So when you're about to integrate a new tool, a new solution, especially linked to CRM, it's really important to ensure that the integration of this tool with your current tools, especially at Decathlon, where in terms of the app is present in different countries, and this means that not all of the countries use the same tools. So we need to ensure that the integration of this solution is going to be easy, is going to be simple, and it's not going to give any blocking point during this process. In terms of the services and what we can offer through Batch, we really prioritize the fact of having access to the real-time data of our customers. Why? Because for us, one of the main strategies this year, and it's going to be in the coming years as well, is to offer a personalized experience. So we need to, access real data in that moment, because you need to give the solution in that moment to the customers. But not only that, also the possibility to A/B test. This is important because we don't know the expectation. We don't know what it works the best with them. So we need to try out and A/B test and understand the way we need to speak to them through the app, because it's totally different than compared to other channels as well. It's more friendly, it's more linked to social media, this kind of behavior. So this was also really important. And then when it comes to integrating a new solution, you really need to have a really good customer support. But the main reason is to make the most of the tool. If you don't know, everything that you can implement or you can, put in place, you are missing the full package of this tool. What it works really well in Batch, and I love it because, of course, I'm working on the CRM strategies and so on, it's the job chat. You are super reactive. So anytime we've got, any doubt about putting a strategy into place, your answer really fast. But what is more important is that you deliver the documentation to, give us all the information that we need and to train ourselves. At the end, it's a new tool. And we are humans, we are persons, we keep learning all the time. Every day is a school day. So when it comes to integrating a new tool, having a good support is mandatory and is a deal breaker, definitely. Okay, so I said something really interesting, which is personalization. In general, at Decathlon, we understood how important is to prioritize the optimization of the customer lifetime value. One of the main strategies that we are putting in place to make this possible is the personalization. But what we understood as well is that the demographic data of our customers don't tell us who they are, which are their interests or which are their needs. What we really need to pay attention is to their actions. Is their actions what is going to tell us their needs, their interests, and what we need to answer to them. So thanks to Batch, thanks to integrating this solution into the app, we were able to be aligned to this whole strategy when it comes to offering a personalized experience. Why? Because, as I said before, we can access real-time data of our customers. So that means that when it comes to sending push notifications and in-app messages, we can ensure that the message is relevant, is contextualized, and is personalized. And this is really important. Batch has allowed us to support the customers in every stage of the user journey. In every stage, we have different strategies. But what is more important is, why do we need to, access the customer data to set up a personalized message? Because you need to keep in mind that you are bringing value through that message. I always ask myself, when we are going to set up, a strategy or a user journey to a specific audience. Segmentation is really important as well. Which value I'm bringing to the customer to increase or enhance the experience. To give them a reason to stay with Decathlon, to stick to Decathlon, and to engage with the brand. So this is something really important because the message cannot be general. Every user has a different need. Every user is in a different stage within the user journey. Something that Batch has helped us, thanks to accessing this real-time data, thanks to being able to segmentate and to create different audiences, is to avoid churn rate. Churn rate is the enemy. I mean, if we think about the line between having an opt-in active user who is likely to hear from us and to engage with us, and unsubscriber, this line is super thin. And if you are not sending the right message and relevant message to the customers, that's how they are going to opt out. But they don't even opt out, they exit, they forget about you. So if you ask me about my advice, avoid not sending messages, avoid not sending push notifications because they are going to forget about it. But avoid doing it in a general way. You need to ensure that this is personalized to the customer, that is going to bring value to each customer. So somehow we answer each individual needs within the entire journey. Okay, this is the key. So the storytelling is amazing, the theory is amazing, but let me, show you some data that improve the fact that by sending push notifications and in-app messages through the app, we've been able to duplicate the active users on the app. But what is more important to see how the opt-in rate is much, much higher compared to the web. An app customer we have seen since the very beginning during this talk that is more engaged, is loyal. They are likely to spend more, they are likely to engage more with the brand and to hear from you. So the opt-in rate is higher. There is a big chance, a big potential and opportunity to keep the connection and the relationship with these users for a longer time. We've been talking about personalization, like segmentation, creating audiences. Here is the proof that it works really well. So the open rate of push open notifications is 6%, which is significantly high as well. But if we have a look at the open rate of the automated trigger notifications, is much, much higher. Why? Because it's relevant. Because we are bringing value to that audience in the right moment within the user journey. And this is the key. So here we've got some examples that we've seen. For us was a success, if that makes sense. So I've been saying that we can activate and create connections with the users during the entire user journey. The awareness stage, which is the first one, it's really, let's say, useful when it comes to highlight the unique selling points of your brand. So when the users install the app, they are more likely to hear from you what you have to offer to them. So they are in this kind of discovery mode where they are likely to find out, right? So on average, on the apps, we've got a time frame of 7 days where our users are more active, and this is when we need to put all of our focus and concentration to make the most of it. So here we've got some onboarding cycles on the after just downloading the app, the second day, the third day. As you can see, I said before, they drop down the interaction. So the open rate of the first message is really significantly high, but then it drops down. So you clearly see that we've got like a limited time to make the most of it, but it's really powerful because it's the presentation of your brand. So if you don't communicate about what you have, they're not gonna find out. I'm not sure how many Decathlon lovers we have here, and how many of you knew that we've got a rental service, or we had second-hand products. So it's so important. Don't take it for granted. You need to communicate about what you have, the value proposition for our customers. This is so important. And on the app, at this stage of the user journey, there's a lot of potential to do so. What I've seen that it works really well as well is sending reminders. The mobile attention span is super, super short. So sending reminders about the products that they have left in the cart is something that it works really well. So it's another strategy to bring them back and, like keep them reminding them that we are here. And this is another example of how we can send a relevant message because it's based on something, an action that they have, done before. So it's quite relevant. And this is working really well. If we just have a look at the open rate, is over 20%. It's really, really high. This works. Another reminder that it works really well, if you have this feature on your app, it's a golden feature, especially for retailers, is the wish list. The wish list, it works really well. Why? Because the wish list tell us about the products that they are interested and thinking of purchasing. It's just a matter of time. But you need to remind them that they were interested on this. Because nowadays we are overwhelmed by emails, SMS, ads, push notifications from so many brands. So you lose the attention, you forget about the fact that you were interested on this. You can play really well with this if imagine those products that you've got in the wish list, we drop the price down. It's a right, this moment is amazing, to remind them that the product that they were interested in now is even cheaper. So this is amazing, and this is something that we can do with batch. 1 second, sorry. Why? Because we can access the real-time data of our customers. So this is really good. And then I also mentioned in-app messages. I don't know if you are familiar with them, but at the end, these are tactical messages that we can set it up within the user journey. So the strategy is different because we are not getting the attention of the users, to bring them back to the app. They are already in the app, and now we have the time based on their actions within the app to optimize their experience. How? By communicating what we have for them. So for example, if you have integrated a new feature, a new functionality on the app, because we keep working on offering the best in class experience, this is something that they need to know. Okay, so in our case, we had a revamp in terms of the wallet in our web app, and this is something that we let them know thanks to the in-app message. It's important to communicate about the fact that you keep working on optimizing the experience, and this also tell us how interested they are about this new feature. So it's also about measuring the interaction. Okay, is this something that they want to discover? Is this not? And then of course analyzed a lot the interaction with the new features and so on. This is another topic. But what we can also ensure through the in-app messages is to increase the contactable database. How many users, when they opt in, they know what they are going to receive, which value we are going to bring in exchange? I don't think they know. So if we let them know about what they are going to receive, what we are going to send them, what we are going to communicate about if they opt in, this is really important. It's like, like signing off terms and conditions, kind of that. So if you tell them, look, we've got a loyalty program, you can follow up with your vouchers, with your loyalty points, you are going to be the first one in receiving our new products, our new launching products, all of these things. This is something that is our responsibility as well, to let them know what they are going to receive, to educate them in that sense. And keep in mind that they are quite engaged, so they are likely to hear from you. The difference is that they need to know as well what they're signing up for. Another potential that we've got is giving them the power. The customer in general want to have the power in everything. So we have here an opportunity to tell them what you want to hear about. In our app, they can select their favorite sports. So if they select their favorite sports, we can ensure that whatever we are going to be communicating about to them, we create this kind of segmentation where we say, okay, I've got a new product for running. I'm just going to contact my running lovers, and I'm gonna tell them about that. So, how we allow them to select what they wanna hear about. This is something that we can activate through the in-app messages as well.
There was a lot of attention on the use cases, and we looked at past challenges, and I think it's very interesting also for you to see the exact examples that they're putting in place today. I think before we end, we'll look at some of the future challenges, your goals of 2024, and you can share what your outlook will be for the next years and what's yet to come with the Decathlon app in the future.
Sure. So if we quickly, because as you can see, I love talking.
We're good. We started a bit late, so we're good.
We are good. Okay. So
you're listening very attentively.
Okay, so I got you engaged with me, right? Thinking about the mission of Decathlon in the coming years, we don't want to just sell products. We want to offer the customers everything they need to practice sports, from products to meeting partners, renting places to practice sport, and at the end creating this entire sport community and sport, environment where they can find out everything. I just said it. The idea is to create a sense of community. So Decathlon is not just a sport retailer; it's part of their lifestyle when it comes to practicing sport. At the end, something that I forgot to say, at Decathlon we are sport lovers. The way there's a lot of teamwork, and it's because we practice sport, and teamwork is part of the sport. So we know, how the sport can help and enhance your lifestyle, and this is something that we want for everyone. So it's not gonna be just about product. We are moving from being product centric towards creating this kind of sport ecosystem. So how the CRM is going to help us, and at the end, how also Batch and the app, if that makes sense, is going to help us, is to offer everything in one place, anytime they want to do it. So how we are going to create this connection within the sport ecosystem. And here we've got some examples that are part of the future, but this is something that we count on Batch. So how we can accompany the user within the entire user journey, which is not just about purchasing products, it's about practicing the sport and offering everything they know. From, for example, booking the tennis court because they are gonna practice tennis, to following up with the loyalty program, for example. And before, sorry, the last slide, something that I would like to say, we are gonna keep working on personalization. We are gonna keep working on automation. This is so important. And our approach next year is gonna be multi-channel. Okay, so I keep working about the app, but I also said that the customers want to have the power. So we need to know the right channel for the customer as well, because some of them, they might, interact with the emails much better than with the app. So there is no need to send push notifications. So everything has to be personalized, the channel too.
Yeah, and I think that's the key. And if we're talking about omni-channel engagement, that's what Batch is for. To really create an omni-channel strategy to find the right channel at the right time with a relevant message to really engage your users, just like Jéssica did with all you guys in the past 20 minutes. Do you want to open the floor to questions? I think we have a couple of minutes. So
yeah, I think so.
Are there any questions for Jéssica?
Do you also have a strategy on the maximum push notifications you send, sort of commercial pressure to protect it?
I very sorry, say the question. So you mean commercial campaigns?
Well, maybe there's a maximum in push notification you want
yes.
to send to customer, for example. So is there a maximum of messages you send?
Yeah, definitely. In Batch, we can set up the cap, and you can also prioritize the push notifications. So it's true that we are, working on automation. That means that, of course, we are going to set up different push notifications. So what we can do is do the prioritization. What is more important? What we want the customers to receive first, and we can also set up the cap. Yeah, definitely. This is something that we do. Yes. But if you create user segmentation and user journeys, as they are going to be personalized and based on the interaction and the events, they might happen that you don't even need it because it's going to be based on the actions that they put in place. But yeah, answering to your question, yes. I'm happy to. Sorry.
Maybe you want to quickly introduce yourself and then ask your question? Just your name and company, that's fine.
Okay. Good morning, Paulina from MediaMarkt Saturn. I have a question regarding personalization within the app. Do you also personalize the content which you show your users inside the app? And if so, how do you do it?
Thank you. Nice to meet you. So when I said that in the future we are going to be focused on personalization, this is a right question because we don't have a personalized experience within the app apart from the push notifications and the in-app messages. But when it comes to, for example, the homepage and the product list, the ranking of the products and so on, this is something that is going to be, we are going to be working on next year. We already have it on the website. So the idea is to offer a seamless experience, multi-channel approach, and this is something that we are going to do on the app. How we can talk about later, of course, but we don't have anything in place yet.
Okay, so but are you considering an in-house solution, or are you going to get a partner?
We have a partner. We have a partner.
No further questions? Fair enough. Thank you very much for your attention. We'll be around with the batch team and Jessica all day, so feel free to come up if you have any questions. Thank you.